出来，看着。哎。教育房子。没什么好教育的，这房子这个事情是有钱就能搞定的。签证和什么要是最差的就是时间的问题。来，你看我，哎，有了，这个洗掉。到了，房子是有钱就能搞得定的，签证是有钱不一定搞得定的。妈妈，我要还钱了。我要还钱了，上个月医药费报销一下。300块。我公公买这耳机多少钱啊？
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let me share my screen here. Yeah, put the chat, just put it to a side. So yeah, I moved A7 since there was a misleading part in the code that we provided, and And so it's going to be due, as I said, this upcoming Thursday. And AA, same thing, right? It's going to be available this upcoming Thursday, right? It won't be due for that the next Sunday or so. So you'll have a little more than a week for that. The mistake that I made on A7 was that I was not consistent in the structure of the tweets. Sometimes I treat it as an array, sometimes I treat it as an object. So that made it incompatible on how the user interface was updating the state, right? And so what I did is I replaced it with standardizing it all to just being an array of tweets, as opposed to an object that contained an array of tweets. So for A8, yeah, right, yes, there is a deliverable for deploying to Heroku, and I'm not quite sure if I provided instructions on doing that, but it's fairly simple. I'll add instructions so you can deploy this to Heroku. Yep. Yes, I will update the dates on A7 and A8 and going forward. Yes. Yeah, if as long as it looks to whatever we provide in the wireframe, then you're all good. Excuse me. Okay. So let's take a look at the where we are in the syllabus. Can the quiz dates be updated in the syllabus? Yes, we'll update so it all matches. Right, so the syllabus, let's see where we are. Excuse me.
Hi, Professor.
Yes.
I have a question about like something on the node topic, not necessarily the homework.
Okay.
I was just reading up on the HTTP like documentation of things, and I was kind of curious about the instance where, like, let's say in a like you're writing to a database, right? You have a method that does both a creation and it like modifies. Like, what do you think would be the best? Like, would that be a post endpoint and like a patch endpoint, or would it just be a post and just the implementations written differently?
What do you mean that does a create and an update?
Yeah, so like, and like, let's say like you're writing to like some database and you're just creating a user, like a document for that user, or a record rather. And then also later on, you might just update like the username, for example.
Yeah, updates will always be a put for objects that are already existent, as opposed to a post would be for new data, right? That is not yet in the database or in the data model.
So would you say that like post is only for creating?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, post is for creating. Update is changing something that already exists, and we'll practice that today again with the, I believe, introducing the database management, and we'll be storing some data in the database through an API. When's the next class going to be? That yeah. So this Thursday, I believe it's a holiday. So just because I don't want to lose a day of classes, I will be holding it tomorrow on Wednesday. I know not everybody can make it up on Wednesday. As always, I will be recording these sessions and making them available for you to consume that at your own pace. But yeah, we have material to cover, and I can't afford to lose a day on Thursday. So we'll have it on Wednesday tomorrow, and if you could all come, we'll cover it then. Okay. All right, so let's get going.
Professor, for Thursday, will you conduct your office hours?
Office hours. Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Although, would it be okay if we have the class anyway on Thursday, and you're free to come or not come? Leave it on Thursday, and if you don't come, that's fine. That's totally fine, and you can then consume the lecture on your own time. I do remember that Wednesdays are somewhat conflicting for me on Wednesday, so maybe that's what I'll do. I'll have it on Thursday. Maybe it'll be just me doing the presentation without anyone there, and then it'll be recorded, and so you can take a look at it whenever at your own pace. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. Hold on a second. It's really hot in here. Just a second. All right, can you hear me?
Professor, I just had a quick question about
Yes.
the deadline for assignment 8. Because A7 was moved to be due this Thursday, will assignment 8 also be moved to be due a week after that?
No, so it'll go out this Thursday. It'll be due the following Sunday. So not this Sunday, the Sunday after that.
So the Sunday after that is when assignment 8 is due.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so we've been discussing interacting with a server using Node.js, right? We talked about REST controllers, about using different types of HTTP methods, so that we would use post to create data, get to retrieve data, put to update data, and delete for removing data. And so what we're going to be, what time is the quiz tomorrow? Again, I'll think of what I'll do is I'll have the class actually on Thursday, and I'll just make the quiz available and for a particular set of hours, and then you can just take them on your own. Yeah, so we're going to be focused on today is storing data permanently through a database. Right, up until now, what we showed is that we can store it at the server level, right, and store it at a variable at the server, either an array or a server variable, right. And what we'd like to be able to do is be able to save it permanently to permanent storage, right. So we're going to be using MongoDB. It's a non-relational database that as opposed to a relational database, that allows us to store data in raw format, formatted as JSON, which is very convenient for the JavaScript clients that want to be able to consume the data already formatted for their own purposes. Okay. So yeah, that's the plan for this week. We're going to be doing Mongo, and it's available here in. Okay, this module is available. And so the first couple of slides walk you through some discussion about MongoDB as being one of many non-relational databases. There are many other vendors that are non-relational. Non-relational meaning that they're not they don't use SQL. They don't store the data in tables and then have records that reference each other. Instead, they allow you to store objects themselves, right? That are not flat like relational databases. You can create in object-oriented languages. and where you use classes and JSON representations, you can have nested data types, right? Where you can have not only the primitive data types, the integers, the floats, the strings, characters, booleans, whatnot, but you can also have arrays, right? Where you can have objects that contain other objects, that contain arrays of objects, and they could be nested indefinitely and arbitrarily complex data structures, right? So when will be assignment deadline for A7 be updated? I will update this after class. It will be due this Thursday, A7, and A8 will be due a week from this Sunday. So there are many vendors that implement non-relational databases. We're going to be focusing on one particular one, which is MongoDB, right? And you can head over to mongodb.com, and from here you can download a local copy of the server. Let's see. You can download the community server for your specific database. This one, the community server, and for you can choose your operating system, and you can download the latest, right? And once you download it, it'll be a zip file, and that will allow you to install the database. So basically, it's just a folder, right? When it unzips, it becomes a folder, and that folder on Windows, that folder should live under program files, right? On the Mac, typically the right place to put it, right, is in user local host, in user local here, user local right here. This is the most common place to put it on a Mac. On Windows, program files would be a good place to put it. So here's an example of what's in the database when you download it. I think it's this one, I think. No, that's not it. OS, Mongo, there it is. OS 10. Okay, this must be the latest one, MongoDB. Okay, this one is it. So this is the folder that contains the database. And what we're interested in is in what's in here in the bin directory, right? And in the bin directory, you have two executables that are of interest. One is the MongoD. That is the database, right? It's a server that starts up, listens at a particular port, right, and listens for incoming requests. Very much like any other database server, like MySQL, SQL Server, Oracle, right? You start up a database, it listens at a particular port, right, and then you connect to it with some kind of client, right? So Mongo, without the D, right, is going to be that client, right, that we're going to be using so that we can interact with the database using just a command line, right? So these are the two needed executables that we need for working with the database. Now, you should be able to execute these two executables from anywhere on your machine, right? And to do that, you need to add this bin directory to your path, right, so that it can find all the executables under here. On Windows, right, you can do that by creating these environment variables. Whereas on Mac, it's a little more involved. It's a little easier on the Windows machine. You just go to System Preferences, you start up the environment variables, and then you can add this path to this path over here, right, to the path, to the system path. On Mac, it's a little bit more involved, but let me just show you real quick. it's you need to make an entry in a bash profile, right? And so if you are at the home directory in your account, right, and the default directory that it puts you when you first log in, you'll notice that there's a file here way towards the top that starts with a B. There it is, bash profile, this one right here. Okay. Notice that it starts with a dot. That means that this is a hidden file. And in here is where you can set up environment variables, right? And so that it boots up, right? It declares all these environment variables, and then they're available in your bash command line, right? If you look at the content of bash profile, right, it contains a few things in there, which is several passwords right now. I guess I shouldn't be showing this. And so in there you can export the path and provide the URL, the path to where your database is running. Okay, so you've added in there. The assignments will walk you through that. All right. Anyway, okay, so once that is all set up, right? Once you have the executables all set up, you can start running your server, the database server, and that's what we're going to be playing around with today. Right? We're going to be working with the database. I'm going to show you first how to interact with it manually, right? Insert, update, create all the CRUD operations manually through the client, and then we'll learn how to interact with it programmatically through a Node.js server, right? Using the Mongoose library, right? So we need a project. Let me see what projects do I have here. Let me open up IntelliJ and see if we have a Node server where we can put the database. Let's see. All right, let's see. Let me close this. Close this. Okay. I think it's let's see, webdev, blah 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 blah. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so this is a Node.js project, presumably the same one that you've been working on already in the previous assignment. Okay, and in here, you'll notice that there's a directory called data, and this is where I put my database. Right, I put it in there. Notice it says there's a DB directory in there, and that's what I'm suggesting, right? That you put your database right in the same project, so that it's all in one single place. Right? So let me show you how I created a database in this project. If you do an ls, there's data. Okay. So typically that's a very good name for a folder where you're going to put your data, right? But because I already have that directory, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to create a new directory, right, with an example on how to create the database, right? I'm actually going to do it. Where are we? I'm actually going to do it from the terminal. I'm going to say cd and go into the terminal. And there we have it, right? So we have the data directory. So I'm going to create an example directory just to show you how you can create your own database directory, right? So I'm going to create a new directory, make directory example, right? And then in there, I'm going to create a folder called DB. So make directory DB. Once I have this this folder, now I can start my database server and tell it that is the folder where it should put all the data, right? As it stores new data, deletes, updates, right? It should put it under there. And the way you do that is by running MongoD. So again, MongoD is the command that we just saw that I said that needs to be in the bin directory. If it's not on the, if the bin directory is not on your path, then this will fail. Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run MongoD, and you need to tell it where to store your database, right? So, and you do that using this flag, db -- db path, and then equal the directory where you want to put your data. So it'll be something like example/db. Okay, so this is the server starting up, right? And somewhere in here it says that it's listening at a particular port. I think this is the port address. Yeah, the address is that it's listening at port 27017. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And notice that it did not go back to the console, right? So basically, this server is up and running. It's already listening at port, just like MySQL might be listening at 3306, which is a standard port that MySQL listens at, and Oracle listens at another port. Each vendor has its own port that it listens to, right? So it's listening, it's running. So we're gonna leave this alone, this terminal, and leave the database server running. At least when you're working with the data for this assignment and learning about Mongo, you're gonna need to start the server every time, or you can just leave it running, right? I would suggest you stop it when you're not using it. So there it is, it's running. So in a separate tab or in a separate window, terminal window, right, I'm going to open up a brand new window. Okay, I'm going to use the second executable, right? We just used MongoD to start the server. Now I'm going to use Mongo to start the client. And the client is going to be, it's going to log into the server, and it's going to give me a command line interface so that I can interact with the database, right? So I'm going to start Mongo. There we go. Notice it says that it was able to connect. There it is, right? Meaning it connected to a server running locally on our machine. That's where 127.0.0.0.1 means. It's just local host, and 27.0.17, right? So it connected to the server, and it's giving me a command line prompt right here. Okay. So it looks like we're in business. We're in business. Now the slides kind of walk you through this, running MongoD. Now, if you're on a Mac, you might need to have admin privileges to run MongoD on your machine. If it complains about not being able to start MongoD, try using sudo sudo. And that's like a super user flag that allows you to run executables as an administrator, and it will ask you to log in, provide the administration credentials. I'm running already as an administrator, so it didn't ask me, so I'm fine. Yeah, and so here we created a path. The path that we created was the example, /db, and then you can specify, that you want to use that path. Right? So that's exactly what we did. It starts up, and then the client, you can run it just by typing just Mongo. Right. Okay, so just a couple of commands that you should be aware of. Let's see, there's a question in the chat. May I ask how to add bin to path environment? Yeah, so is this on a Windows or on a Mac? On a Mac. Yeah, so on a Mac is from your home directory, you can edit your bash profile. Right, you need to edit it with your favorite editor. And so So what basically you do is, let me remove just a few things here. Is you do this. You create these entry points, right? You say, I want to export the path variable that has the old path variable concatenated with the following path, where your path would be the Mongo path. And somewhere in here, I must have done that somewhere here. There it is. Yeah, right here. So I exported path, right? I guess let me copy this. I'll copy this and I'll put it as part of the slides. Download, install. Oh, okay. Add blah 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 to your environment variable. So on a Mac, you edit your, from the home directory, you edit your bash profile, right? And you paste the following. Oops. So you append path to path variable. Example. Okay. Anyway, I'll clean it up, but that's how you do it on a Mac. And then you save and you restart. Okay. All right. So let me. All right. Okay. So we have Mongo running. It's connected to a database. Let's start using it. One of the commands that, one of the simplest commands that you can apply is using the command show DBs. So show DBs, right? Like the name suggests, it shows the current databases, right? And these three databases are the default databases that Mongo establishes for its own internal purposes for configuration and administration and whatnot. Okay, so you should not touch these three databases. Instead, right, you're going to be creating your own, and you'll be doing your work in there from now on. Okay, so for instance, for this course, right, we might call it, webdev, for instance, our database, right? And the way you do that is by using the command use. You say use, and then the name of the database, right? Either this is a database that already exists, or it's a brand new database, right? So if it already exists, then it switches to that database, right? If it doesn't exist, right, it creates a new database, and then all new commands of inserting data, retrieving data, and whatnot will use that database that you just declared. Okay, so if I say use webdev like that, right, so I enter, right? Notice that if I did that, right, and I show databases, notice that it's not listed yet, right? It's not shown that it knows about this database just yet. Okay, not until you actually insert something in the database will it show here as the database, as one of the databases, right? Okay. All right. So these guys, these are the databases. We're now using the webdev database. So any new commands will go in here. Okay. Once we are in that database, right, we can ask for the what do we call collections. So collections are the equivalent of tables in relational databases, right? In relational databases, the data is structured or organized in terms of a whole bunch of tables, right? And then each table has all sorts of records in those tables, right? Presumably in the form of rows inside of the tables. So the equivalent of that in non-relational databases, or at least in Mongo, is instead of tables, we use the term collection. Collection as what we mean as like an array or like a bag or a set, right? A set of records. Okay, so a collection of records. And instead of records, we use the jargon we say documents, right? Records is more in the relational database jargon, whereas in non-relational database we say a document. Right? And that document, could be formatted in any number of ways. In particular, we're going to be formatting all our documents and in the JSON format, but it could have been formatted in XML, right, or any other data format. Okay, so let me show you how to start working with some of this data. Okay. So for instance, you might store information here about maybe the topic that we've been discussing throughout the semester, Twitter, whatnot, right? And so you might have tweets in here, right? So you could say, well, let's insert our very first tweet. Say db dot. So all commands to interact with data, they all start with db, right? There's db insert, db update, db delete, right? All the CRUD operations are here. And it starts off first by specifying which collection are you talking about, which one do you want to work with, right? You can show what collections I have so far. Right? If I say show collections, right now I have no collections because I haven't added anything into the database, right? I haven't added any records, any documents. So let's create our very first one and say db dot first the name of the collection. So say tweets. I'm going to insert into the tweets. We say insert. All right, so this command, right, inserts a document into the tweets collection, right? And if the tweet collection already exists, then it inserts it into that collection that already exists. If it doesn't exist, then it just creates the brand new collection, right, with a new record in there. So in here, you might we can copy maybe a tweet from our projects. Let me open up here. We had a couple of tweets in here, right? You can just copy one of these guys, right? Without the ID, I'm not going to, let me remove that. Right? And I'm just going to copy this. And I'm going to paste it in here. Enter. Oops, I think I didn't like it. Let me try it again. Oh, it's missing a parentheses at the end. I don't think it worked. Let's see, show collections. No, it didn't work. Let's try it again. So db.tweets.insert parentheses, and I'm just gonna copy and paste that in there. Wait a minute. Let me make this smaller so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, db.tweets.insert. Wait a minute. What is it not liking?
I think your parentheses.
Oh, parentheses. I got it wrong. Thank you. Parentheses, paste, close parentheses. There we go. Okay, thank you. Okay, notice that it responds with feedback saying, yep, I was able to insert the document, right? After I was able to insert the document successfully, we can show now the collections. And now notice that indeed it comes back saying that, yep, now there is a collection because they have one collection that has at least one document in there. And if I show the DBs, notice that now it does display the fact that we do have the webdev database, which before it was not showing. Okay, let's insert a couple more. I'm going to put back my ID. The reason I removed the ID is as follows, right? If I can now notice that I had removed it before I put it in there. Now, if I retrieve the documents and say, well, what are all the documents that I've inserted in there? There's only one of them, right? Take a look at this. So db dot tweets again. And we're going to say find. So find is the equivalent in relational databases in SQL of doing a select, right? Retrieving data from the database, right? So find is the equivalent. So if I say find, it spits out, right, what's in that collection, the tweets collection. And there is this big JSON object in there that looks really, really ugly. But I just wanted to point out that there's a field in there, right, that I did not put in there. Everything else I did put in there. You know, there's topics and handle and logo image, blah, blah, blah. All that, I added that, right? But there's one field in there that I did not add, right? This field, notice that it says _ID, right? And the data type is object ID. It's not a string, it's an object ID. It's a 32-bit unique identifier, right? Of type object ID, okay? And notice that it has the nomenclature, the key of _ID. And so this is why, you know, in all our assignments, right, I have been using _ID for the tweets and the posts, right, and the profiles and whatnot. And the reason is that, you know, I was looking forward to when we got here to the relational database, to the non-relational database Mongo, right? And I just wanted, you know, any code that you had written before to be forward compatible to the time when we got to the non-relational database Mongo. Okay. So this, even though it's type object ID, it can be treated as a string on the client side, and we'll see that in a minute. Okay, this format is hardly easy to read. So you can append to the find. You can append mutators or transforming functions that can make this look a little prettier. So for instance, you might say pretty. Right, so this transforms the JSON, so it's a little more readable, a little easier to consume by our eyes. So if I do that, notice that it formats it in such a way that it's easier to read. Okay, including, you know, the ID, the topic, the username, blah blah, the title. It's really long, tweet, yada yada yada. Okay. All right, so let me insert yet a couple more. All right, so if we head over to the code, let's insert this next one here. Again, I'm going to remove the ID temporarily. I'm going to copy it, making sure that I don't copy the comma. And I'm going to say db.tweets.insert paste, close parentheses. There we go. I'm going to put back the ID. And let's do one more. Okay, I'll copy, and this will be db.tweets.insert parentheses paste, close parentheses, enter. There we go. I can retrieve all of them again by saying db.tweets.find.pretty, right? And notice that it displays 1 document, 2 documents, 3 documents. So all documents are there, the ones we just inserted. Make sense? All right. Okay, excellent. So now, instead of displaying all 3, oftentimes we want to display just a subset of the data, right? And for that, you can specify criteria, you know, filters that allow you to identify exactly what document you want. For instance, let's say I want to just, you know, retrieve the tweets, right, that have 123K, right? So as opposed to all of them, I only want that one. This one has 120K, and this one has oh, here, this one. This one doesn't have anything. Okay, fine. Let me retrieve this one with 120K. What's it called? Tweets 120K. Okay, so I would say, you can say in the find, instead of just using the empty parentheses, I can specify here a filter, a pattern by which I can pattern match the objects that I want, right? So I don't need to get all of them. I only can retrieve a few of them. So I can say, the one that, and it's also an object, the one whose tweets is equal to 120K. Okay, so if I do that, notice that now the response is that it only returns that one object because only one object matches, right, that specific criteria. Make sense? Okay. Now in the slides, right, it walks you through all these commands, right? Mongo show DBs. It shows you how could we implement the following data model, right? Users, faculty, students, courses, sections, whatnot. Yeah. So it switches over to a database called Whiteboard as opposed to Blackboard, and starts interacting with it, right? And these are the syntax of all the commands, right? It's db dot the collection that you want to interact with, then the command is either insert, find, update, and remove, right? And then the data that you providing there, and then it just shows you a couple of examples on inserting users, right? And then displaying the collections by show collection, retrieving all the users, or printing it to make it look more presentable. You can also provide, as we saw, as part of the find method, you can provide predicates, right, or criteria by which you want to retrieve that specific record. Let's see something on the chat. Rosa, could you please explain again why we are not copying ID? Oh, yeah, because the ID is being added, right, automatically by Mongo. It's calculating a unique identifier for us. You could actually leave the ID in there, right, and just remind yourself that the whatever you inserted is of type string as opposed to type object ID. But I think it's easier to just let the database deal with the primary key as opposed to you having to deal with it, right? So yeah, let's let it create its own. So you can specify a filter by the any field, any specific field. I just show you that we can specify by the number of tweets, right? You can also specify that maybe you don't want all the fields, right? Like this one, it's retrieving all the fields, right? All the fields, but maybe you only care about a subset of the fields. Maybe you only care about the username and the handle. How's that, right? So you can provide a second argument here, which fields you want, right? You can say username. What's it called? Yeah, username is capital N. Username 1, meaning I do want that. And I want the handle, :1, right, meaning I want those two fields. I don't want the tweet itself, the attachments, the stats, the logo images. I just want those two fields. If I do that, it comes back and there it is, right? It comes back with the two fields I asked plus a field that I didn't ask for. So I didn't ask for the _ID field, but right, Mongo felt compelled to give me that field anyway, right? So I can specifically tell it not to give me, just like I can ask what fields to give, I can also specify which fields not to give me, right? So for instance, I can say that _ID :0, I don't want it, right? And there it is. So now it just came back with a username and the handle, right? No _ID. Okay. Right. I can further say that I want the stats. Right. Stats. There it is. Right. So username, handle, and the stats. Forget about everything else. All right. Everybody good? Okay. All right. So we're able to insert data. We're able to extract data and specify which exact data we want and which fields we want, which ones we don't want. What else? Well, you can also specify, obviously, be able to update, delete, and whatnot. Yes. Here we're just creating another set of sections. Let's see, question on the chat. In non-relational databases, are there foreign keys like in relational databases? No. Yeah, that's the whole point, right? That there's no relationships, no relations. Instead, the relationships are created and nested, right? In relational databases, the reason we have foreign keys is that we do want to create hierarchies, okay? But in object-oriented world where we have objects, right, and they can be nested indefinitely, right, arbitrarily. So you can put objects inside of objects, which you could not do in relational databases, right? And the way you would achieve that is by having these foreign keys and primary keys. You can have references, right, where an object references another object, yes, right, but that's not the intent, right? It's not like you would have in relational databases where you need to join two collections or tables, right, to be able to retrieve data from one or the other. There's no point in doing that in non-relational databases because the data is already embedded inside another data type. Okay. Are we only allowed? Well, no. You can. There's also import tools that you can point it to, a JSON object, right, and it will import all the documents in the JSON object. So yeah, you don't have to do one by one. Right. I mean, I don't cover that part, but definitely there's tools for importing and exporting large amounts of data. Okay. Anyway, let's see. All right, so I've inserted, retrieved. How about update? Right, we want to be able to update. So how can we update? So let's see. Let's this one with first of all, let me get back to the ID. Let me bring the ID back. Okay, there's the ID. And so I want to demonstrate that you can also retrieve a document also by using the primary key, right? Which is oftentimes the most common way to retrieve data from a database is because their unique identifier, right? And you retrieve that one record or document. So to do it here, you would do something like this. You would say, I have the ID, there it is. Right? I can just copy this. Here, copy that, paste it, right? And notice that it retrieves the same exact document, right? Right. Plus, let me bring in the tweets. How many tweets? Okay. Okay, it's 120,000 tweets. So what I would like to demonstrate now is I want to be able to update this content, right? And to update, we use the command update, right? We can say I'm going to remove this here. Remove this here. Now the update command, right, is the word update, and then the first argument to the update command is a filter. Right? It's a filter that allows you to identify exactly which document you want to update. Okay, in this case, we're saying it's the document that I've been playing around with all along, right? This one SpaceX tweet, right, that has 120,000 tweets, right, that has a specific ID, right? This is the document I want to update. Okay, so that's the first argument, right? It allows you to hone in on the specific document that you want to update. And then the second argument is the actual update, right? What is it that you want to modify? What do you want to change, right? Now, the way we do this is by using, oops. Uh-oh. Make it bigger a little bit. By using here, the heck? Oh, yeah. By using a command called, what the heck? Wait a minute. Find. Let me do a find. Oh no. I blew away my document. Let's do a find everything. Do a find everything. Find. I blew away my document. Okay. Yeah, I blew away all the values. Yeah, careful. I updated with a empty curly bracket, right? So basically what I did is I replaced the old document with an empty object, right? So boof, I blew away all the content in there. So careful with that. Yeah, so let's do this one instead. Let's do this one with Scott Manley. Let's copy that. And so let's retrieve that one document. And I guess I need a curly bracket. Yeah, there it is. And let's change the tweets. So let me show you how to do it. So I'm going to remove this. I'm going to change the find. I'm going to change it to update. So yeah, so the first argument says that that's the document I want. And the second argument is also a JSON object that says which fields I want to modify and what are the new values, right? So the easiest way is to use a command called set, right? And all commands start with a $, right? Set like this, right? And this is so that we can distinguish them from actual strings, right? So that this should be interpreted as a command, not as a literal string, right? And set, right, is the, notice the curly brackets, meaning this is an object of which $set is the property name, and then the value, right, of that property is what is that we want to set, right? So to set it, we provide an object that contains all the fields and the values we want to modify. So for instance, I might say, modify the tweets. Okay, I'm going to change it to, instead of 120K, it'll be 123K, it'll be 125K. And another field that I would like to modify, instead of the time being 1 day, I'm going to say that the time is equal to 2 days. Okay. And I can have, list all the properties that I want to modify, their new values. Okay. Right. So I'm going to say enter. Right. Notice it comes back saying, yep, I found one document that I could modify. And indeed, I modified one document. Right. If I do a list again, if I do a find, right, we'll notice that indeed tweets is 125K and the time is indeed 2 days. All right. Let's see the question in the chat. So, is there any way to provide schemas to guard? Nope, no schemas. No schemas. This database is schemaless, and I understand that if you're coming from a relational database, right, that you might be cringing that you don't have a schema. But the beauty that you don't have a schema is that you can modify the schema all you want, right? If you need a new field, you can just add it, right? If you don't want a field, you can just remove it, right? So basically, this is an object, right? We should think of MongoDB more like an object database, right? Meaning I have objects in my application, right, that I have instantiated in RAM in the CPU, and I want to persist that object, right? And that object, I want to serialize it and save it into the file so that I can then reuse it and reload it into memory. Now, usually these objects that were in memory that I've instantiated in memory in my application, usually those objects will have been created from an actual class, right? And the class is what provides the schema, right? The organization, how this data is structured, right? And what is that I'm going to save in the database, right? So yeah, so all those, all that, all the responsibility of making sure that the that the structure is correct and all those validations, right? Instead of burdening the database with all that, instead, all that is going to be managed by the application. The application will be responsible for making sure that the database, the data is good, right? The relationships are good, the structure of the data is good, and then it just boom saves it into the database, right? So the database, the only thing that's going to do is just provide very good I/O, right, of saving, retrieving data, right, and pattern matching all this stuff. Okay, so yeah, so that's what we're going to be looking at now, right? So how is it that we can manage all this from the application side, right? What if the first entry structure is different from the second? Yeah, exactly, right? It absolutely it could happen, right? And it's just that all that should be managed at the application level. It is the application's responsibility to make sure that the structure is correct. It is not the responsibility of the server. It's not like we're not going to validate. It's just that it's not going to be the database's responsibility. It's going to be the application's responsibility, and I'll show you just how to do that in a minute. Right, we'll do that right now. Before we go there, I did want to look at one more thing. We did insert, we did find so insert puts data in the database, find retrieves data from a database, update updates, and the very last one we're going to do is delete. Okay, removing things. Okay. So let me just retrieve all the documents. So this is the document we just played around with. This is the one that I accidentally blew away. So let me remove this document, right? Because I screwed it up. Let me remove it. It has this object ID. Excuse me. I'm just going to copy this. And what we're going to do is db.tweets. I'm going to say remove, open parentheses. I'm going to paste the filter, and this is the document I want to remove. Enter, right? And it comes back saying, yep, I was able to remove one document, right? And if I do a find, notice that it's no longer there. Right now I have just 2 documents. Okay. All right, excellent. All right, so now let's see how is it that we can interact with this, right? And programmatically, right, from an application and bring back our beloved schema. Okay, but again, it's not going to be the database's responsibility to maintain a schema. Instead, it's going to be the application at the application level. So let's do that. All right. To maintain and manage schemas and interact with the database, we are going to be using Mongoose. So Mongoose, it's a library for interacting with Mongo databases, right? And it's going to allow us to declare the schemas that we so much long for, right? All right, so first we'll need to install the Mongoose library. Let's do that. So here in my project, right, I've already installed Mongoose, right? And you can see here, if you go to package JSON, you can see that indeed I have installed Mongoose, the latest version. And to install is very simple. You type the following, you say npm install Mongoose, right? And it will download the libraries from npm and install the libraries in your node_modules. Okay, once you have that, we can start interacting with our database, right? So how do we do that? Well, let me create here. Let me create a directory here just to demonstrate how we can interact. We can say new directory. So I'm going to say lecture. Okay, in here, we're going to create a file, and we're going to be interacting with tweets, right? So let's create here JavaScript, and we'll call it tweets, and we'll call it data access object. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So one of the first things we'll need to do is from the application level, we're going to need to be able to log in or connect to the remote server. Now, just like Mongo here, the Mongo client is connecting to the remote server, right? And sending all these commands back and forth to the database. So, but it has been doing it manually as I type, right? And sends those commands to the server comes back. We want to be able to do that programmatically, right? You know, have an application do that, you know, instead of us doing it manually. So to do that, we're going to use Mongoose. So if you head over to Mongoose, we'll take a look at the Mongoose JS library. Okay, it shows you how to use it. Basically, you first require the library. Let's do that. And then you connect. You connect to the database. You can use mongoose.connect. And the protocol is the MongoDB protocol. This is the IP address or the URL where your database is running. Right now, it's running localhost on my machine. It is indeed listening to 27017. And the database is called, not test, it's called webdev. Okay, that's it. That connects us to the database. Okay. All right. Okay, once we are connected, we can to interact with the database, right? We need to be able to describe what it is that we're interacting with. Okay. And so right, so the way we interact with this is that you first describe what it is that you're interacting with. In our case is tweets, right? And the tweets have a specific structure, right? And this is where the schema comes back into play, right? We can create and describe what that schema looks like, right? So for instance, we might say that our tweet schema looks as follows. You use Mongoose to declare the schema. And we know that it has the following structure, right? And we know that it has, and let's just do a few of things, right? It has as a topic. I'm not going to do ID because ID is by default in there, so we don't use that. We only declare the ID if we want to override the data type. Right? By default, the data type we saw is object ID, but we could override it to say string or integer or whatever, right? I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to say that it has a field called topic, which is a string. Okay, it has a field called username, which is also a string. This is exactly what a schema is, right? Just declaring what these fields are, but we're not burdening the database for validating any of this. Instead, it's being validated by the library. Okay, verified. It's Boolean. Now, all these you can also specify a default value. Right? So instead of just providing the type of the field, you can put it inside of an object that you can be a little, you can be a little more specific what you want. You can say, the type is Boolean, right? So type Boolean like this. If you say just type Boolean, this is equivalent of just typing Boolean. Right. So if the only thing you're specifying is the type, then might as well just use the type. But if you want to specify more than just a type, then you can say type Boolean, right? And then comma a few other things. For instance, you might specify the default value is false. Okay. Same thing you could do with strings, dates, integers, floats, whatever, right? What else do we have? handle. There's tons of stuff here. I'm not going to do all of it, right? I am going to do attachment. So attachment is an object that has a field, right? That is a string. So you can create, lots of nested, objects within objects. You can have arrays. You can have all sorts of really cool stuff in here, right? So you can have really sophisticated structure for your data, right? I'm not going to get into too much. I'm just going to do the assignment walks you on implementing this and practicing all this on your own. So be on the lookout for that later this Thursday. So yeah, I'm not going to do all of them. The other thing that you can specify in the schema is, where is this data going to be stored, right? In our case, we want to store it in the collection, right? The tweets collection, okay? So we can specify it here. We can say that the collection where this is going to be stored is in the tweets collection, okay? All right. All right, once we have that, we can create what is called a mongoose model, right? As follows. You can say const a tweet model is a mongoose model, right? That this is going to provide us with the means of interacting with the database, right? It's going to provide several functions. So the tweet model is going to provide us with lots of functions that we can then use to then interact with the database, like retrieving data. It's going to actually provide this all the functions that we've been using so far: the find, the update, right, the remove. Instead of insert, it's called create, right? So it provides us with all the CRUD operations that we've been using so far through this new object, right? So let's take a look at that, right? We have the model. Actually, you need to configure it. One of the things that you need to say is, well, for what schema, right? So that I know the collection, I know the structure of the data, right? That you want to insert or update or delete or find and whatnot, right? So it needs a schema. So it's a tweet schema. And it needs a unique identifier here. It needs a unique identifier. Now, this has to be unique across the entire application, right? And commonly, right, it's the name of the noun, right? In this case, a tweet, right? Tweet, followed by the keyword model, right? So tweet model. That's a very common name that we give mongoose models. Let me break that down in 2 lines so you can see that. Okay, now we have everything we need to start interacting with the database, right? So for instance, we could do is, let's do the easiest thing first, right? We want to use the model to find. And this find does exactly what you would expect, right? It's the same exact find in the same find that we were just playing around with in Mongo, right? You could say tweet model.find, and find is asynchronous, right? Just like we were playing around with asynchronous communication from React, talking to our Node.js server, right? Well, same thing. The Node.js server is talking asynchronously with the database server, right? So there's 3 layers here, right? Is the React application talking to the server asynchronously, Node.js server, and then the Node.js server talking asynchronously with the Mongo database. Okay, so we're going to use the same exact mechanism here, right? What does this return? It returns a promise, right? Just like in the React side, there's a promise, and what can you do with the promise? You can register a callback. .then you can specify a function where you will be notified. You will be notified when the data comes back. Okay. Yeah. So let's try it out. Here's the data. Here's the data coming back from database, and we're going to do a console log data. Okay. All right, let's try it out. Let's see if this blows up. Let's run tweets.dow. Okay, so let's see. Where are we? We can say node, and where is this found? This is instead of lecture, so lecture and tweets.dow, there it is. Let's run that. There it is. The data came back. Look at that. It came back as an array. Look at that. It's an array of one item and then two items, two elements. So yeah, so we were able to connect to a database, right? It was able to send a find method, right, and came back with a response. All right, let me stop that. Okay. Now this is a little bit hard to read, so you can be much more concise, right? So instead of having this promise as an intermediate variable, we can just do this, right? Like that. Okay, and this should work just the same. There we go. It works just the same. Okay. Usually we break this up into 2 lines like that. And also, we break this up into multiple lines here, like that. Like that. Okay. All right. All right. Excellent. All right. So we know how to retrieve this. Usually we wrap this in a function so that we can call it whenever we want, right? And so, for instance, you would do something like const, and wrap it inside a function that makes sense to you. So such as find all tweets, for instance. Okay, make it into a function like that, right? And then the way you would use it is as follows. You call that function like that, right? You declare this function. You declare the function, then you use it by doing things such as find all tweets. This what does this do? Right? The function returns what? Returns whatever the .find returns. So this returns the .then. So if you call the function, we can have all the tweets, right? And we can just display the tweets. Okay. So this should do exactly the same thing that we just did. Let's rerun this. There it is. It worked just the same. Okay. All right. Excellent. Yeah. Let's do something a little more interesting. Let me comment that out. Let's implement now retrieving maybe a specific field or a specific record as opposed to all of them, right? So for instance, we might want something like const, const find tweet by its ID, where I provide the ID, right? So this is the ID. Right, so this would be tweet model find, but now I don't want all of them. I don't want all of them. I want the one whose ID matches this ID, right? So I know how to do that, right? We provide a filter here, and then the field that we want to filter by ID is going to be equal to the ID value that I provide here, ID. Notice that what I'm not doing, right? I'm not putting it inside of an object ID like I did in the Mongo command line interface, right? Here, I don't need to do that, right? The Mongoose library is smart enough to know that this needs to be an object ID. It wraps it inside of the correct object ID, and then boom, right? It uses it correctly to interact with the database. Okay. All right, so let's try it out. Let's see. The way we could use this is as follows. You can say, find tweet by ID, and let's pick out an ID here. Maybe this one. Let's copy that, paste it in here, and we can say then, then we're going to retrieve a single tweet, which we're just going to spit out to the console. Tweet. Okay. All right. Notice that the find all tweets was coming back as an array. See that? Array of 2 elements. Now this one, because we're doing it by primary key, should return just 1 document. All right, so let's try it out. Let's run it. There it is. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. Oh, yeah, no, I'm sorry. It's still an array. Yes, that's my point. It's still an array of 1 single element. Only those elements that match the fact that that primary key is equal to what we want. Which is unfortunate, because if we know it's a primary key, then why bother coming back with an array, right? There's only 1, then you could have unwrapped it for me, but it didn't. Okay, so it's so common that we fetch individual records by the primary key that Mongoose actually provides a syntactic sugar version of this, where you can say find by ID, by ID, which can take just the ID without, actually, let me leave this one there. I'm going to comment it out. I'm just going to recreate it, but using the more friendly find by ID, which just takes the ID. So you don't have to specify that is the ID that you're filtering by. It's understood, right? It's implied that you are filtering by the ID. And also, it makes the extra step for me that it will, instead of giving me an array, it will unwrap the array and return to me that first object. Okay, so let's run this. There it is. Notice that now it's an object, it's not an array, right? That 1 single object. Okay. All right. All right, what else? Yeah, those are some of the more common ones. Retrieving content like that. What else? Obviously, you can create your own finders. You can say, const find by tweets. Okay, and here you have the tweets, and so this might be something like find. Actually, sorry, let's do it by username. Find. So find tweet by username. And here you have username. Okay. Now the find will be something like username, right? This username is going to be equal to username. Username, like that. Okay. So let's try playing around with that. Let's retrieve one where we say find tweet by username, and I'll pass in Scott Manley over here. Oh, wait, what happened? Let me copy that. And let's paste it here. There we go, Scott Manley. And it's going to come back with then, the tweet, the actual tweet. And we're going to console log the tweet. Okay. All right, let's see if it works. All right, let's run this. Find is not, oops, what I do? Oh, I'm sorry. This is tweet model. I forgot tweet model. Tweet model.find. There we go. All right, there it is. So it finds again that one tweet of Scott Manley. Now notice that it came back as an array. We're going to see that. Came back as an array because we are using find, and .find always comes back as an array, right? But username presumably is unique, right? So we know there's only one of them, right? It's not a primary key like the underscore ID, but we know that just like the primary key, the username is also unique, right? So it'd be nice if find would know that, hey, there's only ever going to be one record with that username. Can you please unwrap it for me? And there is. Okay, we can re-implement this. Let me copy this. I'm going to just comment that one out. There's one where we know that this is a primary key and we really would want just one document, right, without the array. And you can say find one, right? Find one retrieves just the first in the array, unwraps it, right, and gives it to us unwrapped. Okay, so if we run this again, you'll notice that now the tweet comes back unwrapped, right, without existing inside of the array. All right. Okay, excellent. So what about removing? Let's see. Let's look at all the tweets. What do we got? And we can remove maybe one of them. Let's see. We got an array, and then of 2 tweets, and then we have this array. So how about we remove webdev, right, by its ID. Yeah, that is the ID, right? So let's see. Let's comment this out first, and let's remove. Right, so something like const delete tweet by ID, and you provide the ID. So to do this, the tweet model has remove, right? And you just have to provide the criteria or the filter by which you want to remove. So you want to remove by ID, colon, and then we're going to provide the ID as a parameter. Okay, so let's do that. Let's try it out. You can say, oops, you can say, delete tweet by ID. We're going to provide the ID, this one, right? And then the function we're going to call got here. Now, in all the other cases, right, the find tweets and whatnot, all these were returning the actual data that we asked for. Delete doesn't return objects, right, representing data. Instead, they return status objects, which we can console log status. Right. So for instance, if we remove that, we run that, right, what we're going to get is a warning. Remove is deprecated. Okay, so they would want you to use instead delete one. Okay, but nevertheless, it ran anyway. They're just making sure that you don't use this deprecated version. Instead, remove one is the correct one to use instead. Okay. But nevertheless, it worked. It said that it was able to delete one of them, right? And that's the status object, right, that we're printing out. Okay. And finally, let's play around with create. You can create new documents. Say const create tweet, and you can provide the object of the tweet. So new tweet, say new tweet. Right, and this uses the model for create, like that, and then you just pass the new object you want to include, right? So this would be a new tweet. Oh, just to make sure that we were able to remove it, we never ran the find all, did we? Yeah, let me run the find all, see if it worked. Oops. Let me run that, see. Yeah, we just have left over just one tweet in the array. So it did work. Okay, so let's try, let's comment that out. Okay, so let's insert something. So notice instead of insert, it's create, right? So the Mongo equivalent is insert, but in the Mongoose is create. Okay, so let's play around and create a new tweet. So we'll call it create tweet, And here's where we create an object that represents our brand new tweet. So let's copy one from our tweet here. Let's copy this one. Yeah, 456 without the ID. So I'm going to just copy this. I'm going to head over to DAO, right? And I'm just going to override that. Very good. And I'm just not going to have the ID. Right? You're going to let the database provide the ID for me. Okay. So create tweet, and so what comes back from the database, right, from the server, is the actual database data that was inserted. So notice that it returns something, right? This does not return a status. It returns the actual object that was actually inserted into a database with the brand new primary key in there too, right? Which I'm not providing here, right? So I'm going to say then this is the actual tweet, right, that gets saved, or actual saved tweet. And let's do a console log actual saved tweet. Let's run that. Run that. And notice that came back from the server. Notice that not everything is there. So notice that I provided tons of other data, right? You know, likes and retweets and stats. Notice that they were ignored by the schema, right? Because they were not declared in the schema. They were just simply ignored, right? So only the valid content made it through, right? So also there's a few other things in there that I didn't provide. Notice the ID is there, right? That we knew, right? The database is providing that. But it also has this version, this --v. That's a Mongoose field that it uses to maintain, you know, to keep track of objects and their versions, you know, for Mongoose purposes. Okay, let's see. So then will always give us back a list. No, well, we just saw that not necessarily, right? Create doesn't, right? If you do a find one, it doesn't. If you have a find by ID, it doesn't, right? Only when you use .find. When you use .find, right, it always comes back as an array. Yep. Let's see, what else? Yeah, the only other thing that I like to demo is updating, right? Being able to update something in the database. So for instance, and the way that works is as follows. You say, you know, const update tweet. And usually the syntax for this is that you provide the ID of the object you want to update, and then the updates, right? All the updates, right? And the way it works, you say use again the tweet model. You use updates, right? You update one, right? And you have the filter here, and then the updates over here. Okay. So the filter is basically that I want to change the object whose ID is the parameter that I'm passing. And then the updates are going to be set : all the fields that I want to update. All the fields that I want to update. But all those fields are actually the name value pairs, right, are already in the updates objects, right? It'll have the field and a new value for that field, right? So it's as easy as doing $ set and then just updates. Okay. So yeah, let's see if we can get something to work here. Let's modify this one, right? We'll say we'll use update tweet, and we want to change the tweet whose ID is that long ID, and the updates is that I want to check and verified. I want to change it to false. So this would be verified false. Okay. Okay. Now this comes back from the server. Again, update and delete, they both do not return the objects from the database. Instead, they return status information. Right? Delete returns whether it was successful, how many documents were removed, whereas update returns how many documents were updated. Right? So it's the status. You can say console log status. I meant status. Okay, so let's run it. Oop, not there. And the status says that, yep, I did modify one document. Okay, the one of them did match, so that's the status information. We can retrieve all of them and display all of them, see if it changed. Okay, we can run that. And there it is. See that? Verify used to be true, and now it's false. Okay. All right. There you have it. Right. So these are all the basic operations that we are going to be using for interacting with the database. The last part that we need to learn about is, how do you, how is it that you make this part of the overall server, right? And you wrap it inside of a RESTful service, right, which is basically what we've been learning about, right, in the last week, right, where you create all these RESTful APIs, all these RESTful URLs that up to this point they have been storing and updating and deleting data, but on the server, right? We need to now integrate that with this, right? We would like to be able to export this, something like, we would like to export this, say, module dot exports equal to all these, the find by username and find by ID and find by all tweets, right? And then the create tweet, and then the update tweet, and then the delete tweet, right? And so export this so that our services can use these guys, right? And so instead of storing it in a local variable in the server, right, it can actually save it permanently in the database, right? And that's what we're going to be discussing next lecture. Okay. All right, excellent. So any questions? What is the parameter update? Yeah, so the parameter update is the data that we are passing, right? So notice that in our updates, we're passing two arguments, right? We're passing, the first one is the ID, and the second one, we are passing an object. See that? Okay, so this object is what we're passing here. And then we are using set, right, to set the verified to false. See that? For A7, edit profile screen, do we have to make a custom input component? Custom input component. I don't think so. Will you teach us how to call remote APIs from server? Yes, of course. Yes, we'll talk about that. Yeah, we're going to start talking more about the project, and so we'll talk about some more advanced topics about talking to third-party APIs from the browser, from the server, maintaining state, managing cookies, things like logging in, registering, and things like that. But those are more generic, general advanced topics that we'll be talking about. All right, yeah, I'm going to be holding office hours now. So we'll be, so the next lecture will be on Thursday at the same time. And will there be, yeah, no quiz during the lecture because not many people will be there. So I'll just make the quiz available for everybody to take on their own asynchronously.
Hi, Professor.
Yes.
I have some question for the project. Do you mind if I share my screen? It will be
yeah, just let me stop sharing just a second.
Sure.
Stop share.
It says you didn't allow us to share the screen.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So, can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. So basically, I'm trying to have a search bar in here. I intended to have the same search bar as what I did for the build, but I literally copied and pasted it. But it seems the text area is not affected by my style. I don't know what is going on. Like if you see here, I have this input type, and I have this WD right half round, and that's my index. So that's my style in here. So I have
Okay.
applied for this like border left and top right.
Okay.
something.
Are you
And
including
this
that?
is just
Are you importing that?
yes, and look, like if you look at the bottom in here, like yeah, this is from this class, and it is like implemented successfully, but not this one. Like it is supposed to be like right around it.
Okay. Yeah, can I take control?
Sure. How? Yeah.
So let's see. So you're saying that needs to be applied to what?
Yeah, that text, like that input type, like that input should be applied with.
Yeah, can you make this a little bigger so I can?
Yeah, sure. Oh, oops.
I'm trying to drag this over here. I can't drag it.
Let me see. Yeah.
There we go. So what are you trying to make? Is this rounded here? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I want to make this like right side rounded.
Okay.
I can actually share my assignment so that you will have an idea of what it.
No. I understand what you want to do.
All right.
Yeah. Can you? Looks like I can't right click. Can you show the inspector down at the bottom? Yeah, can you put it at the bottom and remove this?
Sure. Remove the.
Okay, no, all done. So let's see. Okay, so you're saying that, right, can you right click here? Okay, inspect this. So this is WD something?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, is this the one that's not, okay, notice that it's being overwritten. Somebody's overwriting it.
Yeah,
So
I think.
border,
yeah.
So border left is being, somebody's overriding it. My guess is that it's form control who's overriding it.
Yeah,
Let's
but I
see.
used the same thing when I was like doing the assignment.
So wait a minute. So here's the
Yeah.
input here. Yeah, so what you might want to do is append here form control. So dot form. Okay, so can you save that? Oops.
I can't save it. Yeah, it's saved. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
there it is. Yeah, the problem was that form control, what by applying both of them, right? You are making it more specific, right, than just one or the other, right? So they were both competing for the same thing, and by using both, it's more specific than either, right? It has a higher priority, right? And then it overrides the form control.
But why I can't do this? I can do that in my assignment. Like I didn't do this.
Yeah, I
stuff.
don't know what you did. Oh, probably in the assignment you were not using form control.
Yeah, I used form control actually because that code I literally copy and paste it like that input.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have to see. I don't know.
And I still have a question for the overall router, I think.
Router, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember that we didn't like use this. If I can pull this out. Yeah, I remember we didn't use this routes in here. Like we didn't use that in the assignment, right? But when we were only use like something like this, right, in the assignment.
Yep.
But when I was trying to use this, it fails. Yeah, it says a route is only ever used, something like this. So I search on the Google and it tells me to add this, but I don't know why we're supposed to use this. We were using without it, like fine in the assignment.
Browser router, route, half, routes. No, I mean, that is the proper way. That it's either routes or switch. There's a couple of them that allows you to just select one or the other. Although I'm not quite sure why. Oh, wait, you're saying element home. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like I try to use the same structure we used in the assignment, but it doesn't work. So I search on the internet. So that's the solution they gave.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is the proper way of using routes. You can normally use them outside of routes without declaring them. I just didn't want to do the complication since it works either way. I'm not quite sure why it's not working for you without routes. I would have to just play around with it, see where it's breaking. You might have something in each one of these that you have another route in there, something, I don't know.
All right,
We
it
have to
says
look
on
at
the
each one of
internet,
them.
like they said it's because the version of the React router Doom, I think. But I don't know why I'm kind of like.
Yeah, you might be using a newer version of routes. I don't know.
Or
React router DOM. Yeah.
Right, but why this happens? Like I literally like create the same like. I did an update.
Is this the same project that we were using at the beginning of the semester, or is this a new project?
No, it's a new project.
Yeah, so it might be that the versions are different, right? That you just have a newer version of React and a new version of React Router DOM. I don't know.
All right. Okay. I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Yep. Sure.
Hi, Professor.
Hi, what's up?
Can you just go to the A7 assignment?
A7 assignment?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So in the edit profile section, like the edit profile screen.
Where is it?
The last page, like the edit profile page.
Okay.
So here, can you notice that the input field have like a different style? Like the name is above.
The input fields, which input field?
I can't see your screen actually.
Oh, you can't see my screen? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Just a second. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes. So like in the wireframe actually. No, in the challenge section.
Oh, okay. Yeah, here.
Yes. So this input field has a different style to it. So are we supposed to?
Which one? The bio?
All of them. So like they are not in the default Bootstrap style.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, you could make it look as close as possible, but it doesn't have to look exactly like this, right? It could have, at a minimum, it should have the background be black and the front end would be, in the foreground be white.
So
But you can use a standard form control, but just make sure to change the coloring scheme, and that's it. That's plenty.
So the label thing over the
The
placeholder.
label could be on top of it. It doesn't have to show like inside.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And I had another question. So like it's actually off topic. So for spring 22, like you are going to be taking the foundations of software engineering class, and
Correct. Yes.
I can't find a syllabus for it. So can you tell me?
Yeah. No, I don't have that yet. I'm still working on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually going to use a lot of all this, a lot of React.js, JavaScript. So it's kind of like applying software engineering to web dev. If we would have had a software engineering process of gathering requirements, doing functional testing, unit testings, it's almost like a follow-up, but it's a much more rigorous version of this, of using best practices. And here we were learning a lot about the skills, right, and the tool set, and so becoming a worker, right. Over there we're learning how to be an engineer.
Okay. And can you tell me like the stack? So the backend would be in Java or Node.js?
No, it's it's all JavaScript.
Okay.
React.js, Node.js. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, Professor.
Yes.
I have a question regarding homework 8.
Sure. Yes. Homework 8.
Yeah. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, and all my lectures are online. 8, right?
Yeah. Can I share my screen?
Sure, of course.
Thank you.
Oh, do I need to stop? I don't know.
Yeah.
Stop sharing. I don't know. I stopped
Can
sharing.
you see it?
Not sure. Wait a minute. No, I'm not sharing. So
Are you able to see my
Are you
screen?
sharing?
Yeah.
I don't see anything. Wait.
Let me reshare.
Yeah, try resharing.
Can you see it?
No. The heck is it? No, I don't see anything. Why don't I see it? Pause share.
I think
Okay,
you have to
try
stop.
again.
Oh,
stop share. There we go. Stop share. Oh, now I see it.
now you can see it.
Yeah, now I can see it.
Okay. So yeah, the issues I have is that for when I try to save the class for body parser, that should just parse the JSON file, but somehow it does not. I have to use so I comment this out right now. So I have to use a body parser text. If I don't use this, it will actually return an empty object.
Can I see how you're posting it?
Yeah.
Actually, can I see the endpoint? Are you what is it, a post or put? What is it?
A put.
Can I see?
I put when I save.
Okay, save one. I put. Oh, and then can I see save movie? Okay, save movie. Okay, blah blah blah. JSON parse. You shouldn't have to parse.
No, so this is the part I put.
Okay, can I see the React side where you are doing the put?
Yeah. So I try to log it as well. So I stringify it and then I passed in.
Oh, I see. See where it says body?
Yeah.
On line 33, you're supposed to be stringifying that.
Right. I stringify it first.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so let me see what are you doing. So save blah 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 blah.
So if I
wait a
switch
minute.
this, it would be the same thing.
Okay,
And,
just a minute. Wait. Let me think about this. So you let body accept JSON information, JSON content type, header method put body. Okay. Save movie. Fetch. Comma. Method put header. I think it's headers, not header.
headers.
Yeah.
Okay, that might be why, I guess.
Yeah, I think you were not sending the header, so it doesn't know how to parse it.
That's probably why. Because
I bet, yeah.
Yeah, because something weird happened. The profile works.
Oh,
okay.
see, that one says headers correctly. See line 19?
Yeah. Okay, that's why I was like, why am I okay? I got it. Yeah, it's the typo. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Sure.
On my question.
Hi, Professor.
Hi, Professor.
Yeah, what's up?
Professor, I would like to discuss assignment 7 challenge part. Could you please give a short demo for this particular edit profile and profile screen, because I'm actually getting very confused to differentiate the two components, because one is update and the other one is just read only component. So could you please give me one for simple like name attribute, how it works in both two components with one reducer only?
Yeah, so let's see. So here I have, let's see if I have this, just a second. Do you mean on the front end side or the server side? Where are you having trouble?
For assignment 7.
There is no server side for assignment 7.
Yeah, there is no server side.
Oh,
So for assignment 7.
Okay. Yeah, so let me bring up the web dev part here. Let me see if I have it. Okay, source 7 build profile. Okay, so maybe I don't have.
Are you sharing your screen?
Oh, I guess I'm not, am I? Sure. Okay. Let me start my server, see where I have it here. Working. Okay. All right. So, oops. Failed to fetch. Blah blah. Oh, maybe my server is not running. Is it running? Let me run my server. Let's see. Okay. All right. So, so you're saying in the profile, right? And so let me just show you here what it might look like, right? So in this, what assignment is this? Okay, I'll do it in A8. Okay. So in A8 in the build, and this is my home, and I'll put the profile right here. Okay. And so there's a home, and we'll create the profile component here. So this will be profile. Right, import React const profile, and returns the profile, right? And that's, we're going to put it in the home, and I'll put it at the top here. Oops, I didn't export it here. Export default profile. And this will be profile. Okay. Oops. Module, blah, 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 blah. Did I misspell something? Doesn't like my profile. Build profile. Okay. Yeah. So I can have a reducer for this, right? And the reducers are, where are my reducers? There we go. I think I have a profile.js and somewhere here in my index, I believe I have a provider that it's including the profile. Yes. Right. And the reducer is just doing what? It's just grabbing the profile JSON, which is what? It's an array. Oh, okay. It's just data, right? Username, which is being provided in the state. So in the state, I only have just one single object. Okay. Yeah. So this state, I'm going to initialize it as profile, and then that profile contains this object. Right. So state, I'm going to initialize it as the initial state. Okay. So I can, from my new profile.js, I can extract that. I can say const profile is equal to use selector, right? And this is the state. And it's going to return the state.profile. And I can render it here. Use selector React Redux. There we go. And I can just render it here. Let's see what we got there. We got JSON.stringify.profile. There we go. See, now I have the data in there. Everybody good? Okay. The profile object. So I can obviously render it as an input field. And set the value. I can store this data in a local state variable. This could be something like a local state, right? We can say const. Oops, no, not like that. Const local profile. Set local profile. So I can edit it, right? Local profile. Use state and initialize it with the profile. And then in the input would be the value of, say, the username would be the profile.username. Wait, profile. Oh, it's got profile. There we go, Giuseppe. Okay. And then if I want to edit it, I could just say on change. No, on change. I change the local value, right? So I say const update profile event. And I'm just going to notify this, right? And say update profile. And basically, I'm just going to set the local profile, to be the old profile, right? It's going to be the old profile. And the only thing I'm going to change now is just the username, right? The username is going to be the event dot target dot value. So now I should be able to edit this. Maybe not. Set local profile, blah, 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 blah. Wait, username, profile, username, event dot target dot value, right? Wait, input on change, update profile, value, profile at username. Oh, yeah, this is local profile. There we go. Okay, now I can change it. All right, so once I can change it, if I have a button to save, I say button save. Then I have an event handler here to save, and this would be const save is a button that I can call and say save on click save. Is this what you're asking for? I don't know, maybe I'm going off the rails here.
No, Professor, it's correct.
Okay, so I can get dispatcher, right? I can say const dispatch. I can say use dispatch, use dispatch, yep. And so now I can notify the reducer of the new profile, right, by saying dispatch. Now my reducer, I don't know if it's ready to receive anything. Yeah, my reducer is just not doing anything, right? So I'm going to notify it. I'm going to say that I am updating the profile, and my new profile is the local profile. I'm going to pass in the local profile, which contains all my changes. Local profile. Maybe I'll say profiles, local profile, right? So back here, now instead of returning just a state, I'm going to say, switch, action.type. Do I have the type here? Do I have the action? Oh, I don't have action here. Action. If the state changes, that I'm going to update the profile. Then that means that the new state is going to have to look like this, where I'm passing back just the object, right? So I'm going to say I'm going to return an object whose profile is the action.profile. Okay. And by default, I'm returning the state. Okay. So yeah, let's see if this blows up. So I'm editing it just to test if this actually works. The profile should be available anywhere, right? So for instance, in the what's happening, for instance, you should be able to do the same thing. You should be able to do this in any other component, anywhere in the application. So say what's happening. I think this is what's happening. You should be able to extract it and anybody should be able to retrieve the profile and render it. So for instance, here, right above the table, I should be able to say JSON.stringify profile. Oh no, that's what's happening here. No, I meant over here. I don't know what that is. Or let's do it in the navigation, say. Okay, let's do it in the navigation sidebar. Anywhere, I should be able to just retrieve it, right, and then just render it and do whatever I want, right? You know, stringify profile. Yeah, that's in the and as I edit, when I save, notice that it's notified everywhere. It's notified here, down below in the what's happening. So everywhere in the application, you can see the profile, right? And it's made permanent. Well, not permanent, right? It's stored in the reducer, you know, for in any other component can use it to render and update itself. That makes sense? I don't know if this is what you were looking for.
No, this is correct. I have one quick question. So in the requirement, there is another component we are required to implement edit profile screen. So whenever we save our update, it renders in the profile screen. So I was basically curious to know that when users save the update, renders in the profile screen.
Well, yeah, I mean, the challenge there, really the only challenge there is that it's two components. One of them is updating the state, but then the other one is only reading it, right, and displaying it, which is basically what we did here, right? This here is updating it, and then everywhere else,
navigation
is receiving it, right? No, it doesn't matter who, you know, by doing the use select, right? Use selector, you can retrieve the state and just display it. So basically the same thing, right? You would have two components. One of them is the editing, and the other one is the one who's reading it and displaying it. But really, any component can read it and display. The only challenge here is to toggle and show first the profile, and then when you say edit, it shows the edit profile, right? But if you're editing the profile, it's successful, any component can display it, including, in this specific case, the profile component.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Professor.
All right, sure.
I'm clear now.
Yep.
Professor, can I ask a question also for the edit profile?
All right, go ahead.
Can I share my screen?
Let me stop sharing just a second.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Moment. I'm sharing my screen now.
Yep.
So I'm doing the edit profile part. So when I click the edit profile and I discard it, it go back to the profile page. But when I click and when I do some changes and I click save, it has the arrow. I'm trying to talk with the TA, but
I think what's happening, and I've seen this in other students, is that they are, you know, they're treating it as an array sometimes, and sometimes they're treating as an object. So that profile JSON that you have there, can you go in there? Okay, see, it's an array.
Yeah, yes, array.
It's an array. So you got to be careful, right? If you know, if you're sending from the UI an object, then you have to convert it back into an array. You have to be consistent. So either keep this as an array and treat it always as an array, or remove the square brackets and always treat it as a single object.
But I checked the index.js, but I didn't find the which the problem is.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you what the problem is. All right, if you go into the reducer, show me your reducer.
Okay, here is my reducer.
Yeah, so all right, so see the edit profile, you say profile colon and discard change. The edit profile, okay, so what does edit profile do?
Right there.
So you call it, okay, edit profile, so you're saying profile, blah, blah, blah. So notice that on line 13, you're creating an object. See that? You're creating a single object. Yep. And then you're sending it on line 16. See that?
Yes.
Right? So you're sending a single object to the reducer. You agree? So now in line, all right, I think an easy fix. So anyway, on line 11.
11.
On the reducer.
Reducer 11. Okay.
In the line 11, you're saying profile : action that profile. Right? See that? That's now not an array.
Not an array. How do I convert it to the?
All right, you can try something. So select action in that profile. Select the whole thing. Yeah, and press the left square bracket.
That's the square bracket. Oh.
Square bracket.
Oh, square bracket.
All right, do undo. Oh, what are you using here? Is this not IntelliJ? It is IntelliJ. All right, put a square bracket before and a close square bracket afterwards. Square bracket, yeah. Okay, try that.
It blanked now.
Did you refresh? Can you go? Can you go back?
Yes. Yeah, nothing rendered.
Okay, so go back. No, in the browser. Okay, let's put a break. So show me the inspector. And go to source.
Source.
At the top, yeah, sources. Go into the edit profile component.
Profile.
Yeah, isn't that it? Isn't that the edit profile right there? Yeah, can I take control?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so let's see.
I tried to fix that several hours, but I still didn't get that.
Let's see, components, 7, practice, to the list. Is it? Where the heck are you? Images, blah, 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 no. CDN, font, source. Huh?
Should be inside source, but I didn't see.
Where the heck is your code? Your profile, images, static, bundle, modules, webdev.
Source. Oh, it should be there.
There we go. Okay, so this is edit profile, right?
Yes.
Save right here, right?
Especially.
Okay, and so here's a profile you're sending. Okay, and then the reducer. Where is your reducer? Reducers.
Yes.
It's in the profile reducer.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be right here. continue. There it is. So there's our action profile, and we're going to put it in an array. Profile, state, profile. So we should be able to see the original state. Okay, the original state was profile is an array that contains all this. Banner profile, blah, 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 all this. See that? Banner picture, bio, yada, 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 yada. And you are about to replace it with an array that contains only these things. Okay, so that might be breaking it, right? So we need to make sure to maintain all that. So where is this here? So what you should do here is to make sure that you copy over all those fields, right? What are all those other fields? Use dispatch. Where's your, okay, this profile, right?
Yes.
So what do you do with that? You don't do anything with it? Yeah, you should have copied into a local. So this is
I'm not sure about that.
yeah, you passed it in as an argument, right? But then I don't know if you do anything with it. Yeah, these values, right, should not be hard-coded. They should be from the profile.
Yeah, I try to use the profile.first name, but it not works. Is this undefended?
Okay, so let's refresh this and edit. Save. Okay, now let's look at profile. So profile has now all the fields plus anything you might have changed, name, bio, whatever. So let's go back here. So now your action. Oh, what happened to
is it undefend?
action? Oh, I misspelled it. This is profile. Profile. Okay, let's refresh. Save. Okay, profile. That's what I'm passing. And there it is, my profile. Perfect. Continue. Okay, let's see what's complaining about. Edit. Let's say save. So I'm going to, in the console, I'm going to clear out any errors so that any new errors, I can see them. Continue. All right, let's go into the console, see what it says. Objects are not valid, blah, 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 blah. Render, yada, 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 array, yada, yada. Objects are not valid. Keys, location, error, yada, 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 yada. Component, objects, keys. Okay, that doesn't matter. Bio.
I think that's not the key problem for
Okay, so objects are not valid as React child found object with key bio. If you meant to render blah, blah, blah. Okay, so something's wrong with your bio. And so what are you putting in your bio? Let's see. Your bio.
I think in the profile page and the edit profile page. That's the
No, but I mean, what are you doing with bio?
set bell to the new bell. Oh.
So what are you doing with bio here? Where's your bio?
Should be
This one, right?
Yes.
Okay, so my guess is that you're putting an object in here, and that's not valid. So I'm just going to just comment this out for now,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can move ahead. Okay, continue. Let's see, there's no bio, right? Oh, see, bio is an object. And it's probably the same error somewhere in the bio. Found object bio, yeah. Somewhere, where else? Oh, in the profile probably, right? Where's your profile? Profile, this one, right? Profile item. You're probably rendering the bio here somewhere.
So if I don't use the profile.bio,
So yeah, something, I don't, you're trying to render a JSON object and you can't render a JSON object. Yeah, you need to render something specific in the bio, but not an object. You can't render an object. Okay, and edit. Let's go to that. Save. Console, font, object key, location. Oh, same thing. Location is an object.
So should I use the JSON.streetfly?
No, I mean, you have to, a bio, you want the text, right?
Yes, text.
And bio is not text. Bio contains an object. So you need to say, you know, bio dot something, right? I don't know what text you're putting in there. Like this one, first name is text, but bio itself is not text, right? So you have to specify what field in the bio do you want to put in there.
But inside bio is just
I know, but you are converting it into an object. When you're editing it, right? When you're editing it here, edit profile. Here, bio. See, you're creating an object, bio student something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Does it object?
So
does it
so I think you maybe you want to convert it into a string, not an object.
Yeah, because I don't know. I just followed.
See that? And location probably same thing, right? It's just Boston, not an object. Okay. So when you are displaying this, what do you have here? Yeah, it's not location. It's just not location dot location. It's just location.
Just okay.
And this same thing. It was just bio, not bio dot bio. Probably same thing with website. Probably website is supposed to be just a string. Yeah, I don't know why you put everything into an object.
Yeah, because I just followed the code from lecture. I remember do the bank.
I don't believe I used all these states. Use state for each one. No, I would not do that.
Okay.
Bio, location, birth, website.
Do we need to remove the first name and date of birth? No.
What does it say again?
That one. Should we remove the curly?
Probably, yeah. These are all supposed to be strings. Really, what you should do is not splitting up into individual ones. You should have done something like const local profile, set local, set local profile. Like I showed the other lady, right? Is use state, and then you initialize it with profile. Okay. So now profile this local profile contains bio, contains location, website, birth, all inside of the profile, as opposed to splitting it up into individual ones. Right. So this already contains all these other fields, and then you update each one individually. Yeah. Instead of having all these handles, yeah, you should have only one handle that handles changes of the profile, right? And then you just update the specific value, right, of either the bio, the location, the website, the birth, right? Right. So you have something like you have a single, const handle change, and you have an event, and then you say new profile, whatever, right? And you just update the set local profile, new profile. Right. So then as these change, these individual change, right? Instead of doing a handle name change, you do event handle change. You copy over the local profile, comma, and then name. What is it? First name? Is this first name? I forget. Is this first name? Yes, right? Yeah, first name is equal to event.target.value. Right. And so then all these input fields, they only update the field, either first name, last name, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you should not have all these handles, handle bio, handle location, handle blah blah blah. They should only use one handle. Oh,
Okay.
not handle change, not hand change. Yeah. And I mean that's kind of what we just the demo that I showed last week. Right, that's what I did. Right, I would update individual ones.
Okay.
Yeah, take a look at that.
Okay, thank you. So for the reference part, if I use the just string here.
Yeah.
Just reference here, just first name with the curly parentheses, no names here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Professor.
All right. Bye.
Hi, Professor.
Yes.
I have a quick question. It's about assignment 8.
Okay.
In the practice part, there's a section called deleting data from an API. And I followed every instruction, copy and paste all the code in the Google file, but it failed to delete any of the movies. When I click the delete button, it doesn't react.
Okay.
And I'm going to share my screen now. So this is the code. This is the movie service.
Yeah, I can barely see anything.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
way too small.
How about this?
Okay. Yes.
This is the
movies. Okay, so you get all the movies. Delete movies, right? Okay, you get the delete movie, blah blah blah. API movie, and you're saying const ID. You're retrieving the ID from the params MID. Okay, and then you're saying movies is filter each movie, and you only keep the movies where the ID of the movie is not the ID, and then you send back the okay. All right, and now you have the server.
Yes, this is the server.
All right, can I see? Okay, and that's the movies service dot services movie service movies dash service app. Yeah, that looks okay.
And this is the client API.
Okay, so where's your delete Okay, delete movie.
Here.
Okay, can you see how you call it? Is there a button that you click on?
Yes, it's on click.
Okay, and you're sending delete movie, movie. Okay, go up. So go to delete movie. So you're doing movie fetch, localhost 4000 API movies, movie dot underscore ID. All right, so instead of the single quotes on line 10, instead of single quotes, they're supposed to be backticks.
Backticks. Oh, sorry, let me change it right now.
Yeah, otherwise the $ curly brackets doesn't do anything, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. So
okay, delete, then response.json, set movies. Okay, try it out.
Yeah, I think it should be working now because this is responsive now.
Yep.
And just one quick thing. So from now on, in this Node.js or React, this kind of combination stuff, and whenever I want to do single code, I will do what's that called?
Backticks.
Backticks. Yeah, is that a good practice?
Yeah, if you want to embed expressions, then yeah, they need to be backticks. That's number 5, you don't need it, right? Number 5, you don't need it.
But I can still do the backticks, right?
Yes, you can, but it's considered bad practice.
But it's considered. Oh,
yeah, you should only use backticks when it's dynamic.
Okay. Okay. Can I ask why it's a bad practice?
No, to be consistent, if you've used backticks, you're kind of suggesting that it's dynamic, and so people are going to look for something that's dynamic, and it's misleading.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Okay.
Hi, Professor.
Sure.
Hi, Professor.
Sure. What's up?
Can I share my screen?
Of course.
It's about homework 8. So I find that when I create something, it didn't show, but the content, but from the network, actually, we have this.
So it's coming back with the data that you actually sent, the tweet, RR?
Yes.
Yeah, so right. So my guess is that you are correctly sending it to the server, but you're not updating your reducer. Can I see your reducer when you send it?
Sure.
When you do a post, is that a post that you're sending?
Yes.
All right, can I see where you do the post? No, can I see the post first?
Okay. Post.
Yeah, here, this is where you're sending it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Create tweet, click handle, blah, blah, blah. So you're sending post, new tweet, and you're passing tweet, what's happening, dispatch. All right, can I see post new tweet?
Sure.
In the service?
Yes.
So here's your dispatch, here's your new tweet. And
yeah.
On your new tweet though, is it the correct format that you're expecting? Right, go back to the tweet list item. So you're sending, oh, no, that's not it. Wait, was that it? No, where is it that you were calling the post?
Calling the post here in what's
happening. Okay, here, okay. So you're sending an object that says tweet : what's happening, right? Okay, so let's go back to the service. Okay. And right now go to the and then you're sending the new tweet to dispatch.
Yes.
Okay. All right, good. Let's go into your reducer. Okay, in your reducer you have, see in line 47, you're calling it line 47, you're saying action.tweet, but that's not what you're passing. You're passing action.newTweet. Yeah, go back to the service. See, you're passing type create tweet, line 25.
Yes.
No, line 25.
25. Yes.
You're sending type create tweet, and you're passing a property called new tweet colon new tweet. So the object contains two properties, right? The type property and the new tweet property. So I think what you mean is line 26 here, replace the first one, the property name, call it just tweet. The property, not the value, just the property name. Yeah, that one, just tweet. Okay, that's what you're expecting in the reducer. So go back to the reducer. Okay, now you have the dot tweet. Now my question is, tweet. Oh wait a minute. What are you doing here?
A return new array.
Actually, go up. Let me see the original. Go into tweets.json. No, right there. Okay. On line 1, you can command click.
Okay, I see.
Oh, it doesn't work?
No.
Yeah, tweets.json. What is that? It's an array of objects, right?
It's an array.
Yeah, okay. All right. This was why I gave more time for the assignment, because of this error. Go back to the reducer. Go back to the reducer. Yeah, that's a tweet. Okay, so see the yeah, oh my goodness. Scroll up. Okay, posts, state. All right, that's the array. All right, go back down. Okay, what we're gonna do is just erase everything there from line 57. Okay, and just include just tweet. That's it. Just tweet, comma, and then slash dot state. Perfect. And wait. And tweet is going to be action.tweet. All right, go into the service. Go into the service, tweet service. Okay, and new tweet. All right, who's calling that again? Go to index.js. What are you passing? Okay, tweet what's happening. Yeah, tweet what's happening. See, you're putting it inside an object that contains tweet, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to unwrap it because the object is already in what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want you to do that because I don't know what you're doing on the server, right? And the server, maybe you're expecting it to be inside of tweet. I don't know. So I don't want to break your server. It looked like it was working in the server, so I don't want to break it for you on the server. But anyway, go back to the service now, the tweet service. And that's a new tweet. Well, okay. All right. So now it should work on the client. I don't know what it's doing on the server though.
Okay.
It was working for you on the server. Go to tweet-service. Let's see what you're expecting on that post. So what are you doing in this post? Post, blah, 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 blah. Body. Okay, the request body. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. New tweet. Tweets. Yeah, okay, this should work. All right, you want to restart everything? Restart the server and restart the React client?
Okay.
Yeah, refresh this. Okay, so tweet. Okay, wait a minute. Failed to fetch. Yeah. Post JSON, new tweet, stringify, index, tweet API. See where it says 400? And down on the right hand side, actually, let me take control. Yeah, excellent. So let me see. Let's see 400. View source. Oh, payload. Oh, see. Oh, it's just text.
Yeah, just a string.
Yeah. Okay. No. All right. So we can't just send. We can't just do that. Okay, let's go back here. So. Okay. So here, what's happening? Oh, that's why we're doing tweet what's happening. I see. Okay, so we do need this to be tweet what's happening. And then in the tweet service, that's the object. But then you're gonna have tweet. Okay, I see. All right. And then in the reducer, where's the reducer? There's the reducer, right?
Yeah, just trees.js.
The reducer, create tweet, blah, blah. Okay, tweet. All right, that could work. That could work. Okay. Go back to the client. Go back, refresh. Wait, how do we go? Home?
Home. This one.
Okay.
Oh.
There we go. Yep. Yeah, the thing is that sometimes we're treating as an object, sometimes as an array, and just have to be consistent, right? So basically what we did is just remove this, right? And treat it just like an object. Yep.
Oh, okay. So this means there's an object inside an object, right? So here.
Yeah. In this case, it's not, right? Here, it was basically, the thing is that we were overloading the term tweet. Sometimes it meant the whole object, sometimes it meant just the text of what you had typed.
Yes.
And so that was the confusion.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor.
All right. Bye.
Professor?
Hey, Professor.
Yes.
I have the exact same problem as the previous person.
Yeah, and I think that's what I fixed on the document, in the Google document, but yeah. You guys had a chance to take a look at that.
Do you mind if I run you through my
go ahead.
Code really quick? Okay. Give me a second to share screen. Oops. So that's not it. So I didn't quite catch all the changes that we made.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, can I take control?
Yeah, sure. How do I get control? Oh, sure.
Yeah, so basically, we're just going to comment this out. Can you comment that out? I can't do it here. Okay. And we're just going to append tweet here. Yeah, can you save that?
Sure. And run it?
Yeah, can you run it, see if that fixes it?
Sure.
There we go.
Yep. I see.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Sure.
Professor?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question about assignment 7. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
So when I was implementing home, I somehow managed to make everything in my root disappear.
Okay.
And I'm not sure where that happened. And I was hoping you could help me find it.
Sure. This is assignment 7?
This is assignment 7.
Okay, let me take a look at this. Can you give me control?
Absolutely.
So let's see. So you have components. Let me just look at app. You're bringing A7, blah, blah, blah. Build, yada, yada, yada. Okay, you have the build here. Starts with Twitter, and then where's this build? Is inside instead of build A7, right? So in A7, you have what? Oh, wait, then you have slash. And what is slash mapped to? You don't have here anything mapped to slash.
Ah.
So maybe you want to add the default for the practice, maybe? I can't copy and paste. Can you copy and paste that?
Yeah, so just this.
Yeah.
And where am I pasting it?
Just right in front of it. Comma. And then just, yeah, you have to close the quote without the comma. The comma, yeah, there we go. All right, so can you refresh this?
Thank you.
There's practice. Yep.
And can I ask you one other question about
Sure, go ahead.
assignment 7? So on my home screen, I have this link. And for some reason, it's not rendering, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah, it's because it's escaping the text. And so it's not actually converting it to a link. It's literally converting it into the text of anchor A, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, so how do I fix it?
So yeah, can you show me where that JSON is? You know, Grimes scene, reading, whatever.
Yeah, probably.
It's in the JSON, right? In the post or something. Post that.
Yeah.
That is it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Can I see this? Can I scroll this? Let me see. Where's the hyperlink? Is the hyperlink
Right
here?
there. Yeah, it's right above you.
Okay, it's this one over here.
Yeah.
Let's first convert this. Oops. So let's fix that.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't know if I have to save that. So let me see if that renders correctly with a quote, single quote. Okay. All right. So next, can I see that who renders this? Is it post item?
I think so.
Yeah. So and where is the so what is the field called?
It's called topic.
Topic. Right, so topic, and so where's topic here?
Line 20.
Topic. Is this it?
Yeah.
Okay. And so it's somewhat convoluted.
Oh, of course it is.
It's what was it? React. Allow dangerous content or something like that. Dangerous content with React. Yeah, inner HTML. Dangerously set inner HTML. there it is. So you can bind to DOM directly, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's try that. This exact example. Can you copy that?
Mm-hmm. Control copy.
Yeah. So now in the span, you do paste. Okay. And so this, instead of this quote, can you do post.topic? Okay, and remove this here. Oops. Okay. All right. Can you save that and refresh?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure we're looking at the right place?
I thought so. I thought I was sure.
Okay, save that and refresh. Can only set one children. Blah, 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 blah. Can you cut that? Don't throw it away. Just cut it. Just want to make sure that we're in the right place.
Yeah.
Save that and refresh. Okay, so that can't be right because we just overwritten. So we're not looking at the right thing.
Okay. Well, that would be why that's not working.
So this is being rendered somewhere else for some other reasons, but that's not the place. Do you know where it actually is being rendered?
I don't.
Wait, author. Image.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you. But anyway, that is the technique. You dangerously set the inner HTML to text, and the reason it's dangerous is that when you have text, and it's considered to be plain text, you should not have embedded content in there that people can use to inject dangerous content like CSS or JavaScript or dangerous HTML that might break the HTML that you already have there. But that's the point. So can you please try using that that I just gave you, paste it again so you don't lose it, and play around where it actually goes.
Yep.
Yeah. Can you find that out and while I help someone else?
Yeah. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Professor, I have another question, but this is about the practice part.
What's up?
Sure. Mind if I share screen?
Yeah.
All right. So I kind of copied this is for A8 practice. I copied the code exactly, and I'm not really sure if this is like the expected behavior, but like if I click on edit, it's kind of like one letter behind. So we have a C here, and then we have like an X.
Yeah, no, that's not how it's supposed to work.
Okay.
I think you have I think you're missing a state variable that you copy. Yeah. So in so this is in the movie client, right? API client. So the movie API client.
Oh yeah, API. Yep.
Yeah.
API.
So go to the movie API client, and then when you let me see where you go up. Scroll up. So you have a set movie. Okay. Use state yada yada yada, title yada yada. Okay. Can I see the edit button? The handler for the edit button.
So that would be.
Okay, so it's set movie. Okay, set movie. Set movie. Okay, can I see? Oh, wait. Set movie. Okay, can I see the edit field at the top?
Edit.
The input field at the top.
Input field.
No. At the beginning of the URL of the return.
Oh, the return.
The first input field. Right there. There we go.
Here.
So what are you doing? So input blah blah value movie.title. Movie.title. Movie.title save movie. So that looks right. That looks right. What's on change on movie title change? Can I see that? On movie title change. Set movie. You're saying console set movie. Copy the movie. Event target. Fetch. Scroll down. Oh, okay. So yeah, you don't fetch here. You don't do the put here.
Oh, okay.
You only do it when you save.
So
yeah, so that goes in the save. So there has to be like a save button or something. Yeah, here. There's where you do the put. Yep.
let me just see if it's the same thing. So it's.
Yeah, it should be the same thing.
Oh, it's the exact same thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you were updating the server for every keystroke.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to do that. Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll give it another try.
Yep. So do the edit. Click edit. There we go.
Okay.
So only when you save, right? You send it to the server and it updates.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sure. Then this functionality seems like right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That looks great. Thanks for your time.
Yeah. All right. Good luck. Bye.
Hello, Professor. I have a small question.
Yeah. What's up?
Regarding assignment 8.
Okay.
So currently, when I try to create a tweet, I get the following error. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, 500 internal server error. Can you go to the Node.js server, see what's complaining about? Actually, before we do that, stay here. No, go back to the browser. Click on network. Okay, so see the red one at the bottom. Can you click on it? And click on header. Go all the way down. Okay, you're passing tweet. Okay, good. Now go to this Node.js server. It's okay. Let's see the error at the bottom. Oh, I see what's going on. C says line 1 at the top.
Line 1. Yep.
Yeah, that should be a let tweets, not const tweets.
Oh.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're trying to update a constant, right? So it's complaining that you can't update a constant. Okay, so this might be something else, right? This might be the other issue of, whether you are passing the data back to the reducer correctly, right? And it's being copied correctly or not. That's another issue.
Okay, so that would be in the reducer, correct?
Yeah, can I see the reducer? Tweet, blah, 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 tweet, state. Can I see your tweet service? Okay, you're saying, okay, so what's this tweet? No, okay, so line 25. I think it should be tweet : new tweet. New tweet, not tweet, new tweet. The one from line 13. Although, I don't know. Yeah, okay, try that. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, another small question for the practice. My buttons don't really work. The only one that works is create, and the delete button only works for the default values.
Mm-hmm.
So practice. So I could create one, but doesn't delete. I can't delete the default values.
Yeah, okay, so let's my guess is that you're not adding the correct object to with the ID. So let's look at the network, what you're sending. No, go back. Go back to the browser. All right, can you see network? Click on the network. Scroll, make it, okay, yeah. Yeah, see undefined?
Yes.
Okay, so clear that. And so, all right, let's yeah, show me, send one of the, send something. Say save or create. Say create. Okay, so click on the first one, movies there, and scroll down. So we're sending title, blah, 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 rating, yada, yada. Okay, can you see the response? What's coming back? What preview? Right next to the header. Okay, let's see, you're getting it's coming back. All right, notice that only the first one has an ID, but none of the other ones have ID. So that's why it's failing. Yeah, you're not coming back with an ID from the server. So let's go back to your server implementation. Can I say that? Okay, so there's a post. Oh, you do have an ID.
No, that's for the tweets.
Oh, okay. Create movie. There it is. Create movie. Oh, so line 18.
Yes.
Line. Okay, so line 19. Can you add a new line? No, not there. Line 19, new line. Yeah. Do movie dot underscore ID equal underscore ID equal in parentheses, new date, blah blah blah. Parentheses, not square brackets. Yeah, new space date open. Yeah, and then at the end, at the outside of the parentheses, do dot get time. Get time. Yeah. And restart your server. Let's see. Refresh and now, so okay, let's see. Create one. Create. Okay, let's look at the movies again. That's coming back at the bottom. The last one. Okay, that one. All right, now they all have IDs. Okay, this brand new one now has an ID, 1636 something. Try deleting. Wait. So at the bottom, see that says 163 something. Click on it, or click on the one above. Okay, so your delete on the server doesn't seem to be working. Let's go take a look at the delete on the server. So where's your delete?
Yep.
Okay, delete says yada yada yada. You get the ID. Movies equal movies dot filter dot movies. Wait, go back to the browser. Click on, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Click on the movies right above it. No, close that. Okay. Interesting. Title, rating.
It's
Click
returning
on,
the same thing.
yeah, it's the same return?
Yes.
Wait, can I see the headers? Scroll all the way down. Title, blah, 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 blah. And look at the second one. Go up.
Has no header.
No, go up. Scroll up. Oh, you're sending a delete. Delete, blah, 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 API/movies/ID. Go back, go to the service implementation. The code. App.delete API movies. Go back to the browser. API movies ID. Go back to the implementation. That looks correct. App.delete API movies MID delete movie. Delete movie. Request response, request params, MID, ID, movies. Movies equals movies dot filter. M, where M is not ID. It's not ID. Response.json movies. Crap, that looks right. Go back to the browser, delete one of the other ones. So that works. Okay, click on 1, 2, 3 down below. To do the preview. Oh, I know what's going on. Yeah, go back to the server. In the create, yeah, see the get time?
Yeah.
Yeah, append a string. So put a plus at the end, plus open close quote. Restart your server. Yeah, so this is a number, whereas the other one was strings, right? And so the not equal, that equal, it's a strict type comparison.
I see.
All right, restart the server. All right, go to the browser, refresh. Okay, so create one, blah, blah, create, now delete it. There we go.
There we go. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Professor?
Hi.
I found the spot.
You did, awesome.
Can I share my screen?
Sure.
Ta-da! So it's right here.
Okay. Can you paste the dangerous something or other and remove the post.topic?
This one?
Yeah. Okay, now refresh. There we go. It's a link.
Perfect.
Yay.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And then relatedly on the explore screen, my little check circle is not rendering, and I think it's similarly.
Yeah, same thing.
Oh, okay. It's the same thing?
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
All right, good luck.
Thanks.
Bye.
Professor?
Yes.
Can I have some quick
Okay,
question?
you can go first.
Oh, sorry about that. So I'm working on the practice section and sorry. I just couldn't get the thing to work. Can I show you my screen?
Go ahead.
Sorry. So I was trying to like I'm trying to run the server, but it's like complaining about this.
Okay, can you open up your server.js? No, your server. Go back to your server. Actually, let me look at the error again.
Sorry.
Yeah, let me look at the error. Apps not defined. Oh, movie service. Okay, yeah. Open up
Yeah,
your
so
movie
it's
service.
complaining the app.
Okay, yeah.
the Thing.
Yeah. Okay. See where it says line 14. Line 14. You say no, in the code. In the code, line 14. It says yeah, modular exports, and then you have the declaration of line 15 and 17.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Everything else, line 7 through everything else is supposed to be inside of there.
Oh.
Everything should be in there. Yeah, so cut that and put it inside there, paste, then all the other ones too.
Oh, so do they? Okay, so this supposed to be in there as well, right?
Yeah, everything. There we go. Now restart.
I see this. Okay, perfect. So now that run, and then now we can start this, I guess. I just don't know somehow. I don't think my thing would render. Okay, let's see. Oh, perfect. Not work. Thank you so much. I think that's all.
All right, good luck.
Professor?
Yes.
I get fixed for the last prompt, but still have a little bit error. Can I share my screen?
Sure.
So I think I got fixed for the edit the name and then it's saved, but for every time I can just edit one text area. Like if I already edited the name, if I enter in Bell, the name getting back. So every time I can just erase one edit text area.
Right.
Is that normal?
No. I think what's happening is that you have two variables. One is the local one, and the other one is the one you're passing as an argument. And sometimes you're using the one that you're passing, and sometimes you're using the local one. So the input fields. Let me see your input fields.
Input field. Okay. Right.
And so in the input fields. Okay, so you see where it says handle change ... profile. Yeah, it's supposed to be local profile, not profile.
Local profile. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the profile is only useful to initialize at first, and then and never again.
Oh, okay. It gets fixed. And also, if I trying to reverse the birth date, it gonna not changed. It's still the 1996, not the.
Yeah, again, it could be the same thing, right? That you're using the wrong version or whatnot. I don't know. Also, dates. It's not value. It's something else. I forget.
You mean here?
No, line 990, where you say event.target.value. I don't remember what it is, but it might not be dot value. So research what it is. For dates is slightly different. I forget what it is.
Okay. And also I put the date of birth here. Also in my JSON, I use the date of birth, but here
Oh, you know what? It's the wrong format for that date. Go back.
Go back to the JSON.
Yeah, these should be year dash month dash date dash dash, not slash.
Dash.
Yeah, minus. And then those 2 days needs to be 2 characters. So 03, 02.
Okay. It's not showing here. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it type date? I don't know.
Type date.
Type. Oh, type text. See that? It's supposed to be type date.
Date.
Line 91. Yeah.
Oh, it still not works.
Yeah, I'll let you do that one. Right. You can. That's a challenge for you.
Okay. And I still have one more question. Give me a moment. We don't have the website inside our JSON, but we have the website here.
Yeah, you'll need to add it to the JSON.
Add to the JSON. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Thank you, Professor.
Sure.
Hi, Professor. I have a question on. I'm still trying to get the practice for the movie API thing working, and I'm
Okay.
having a bit of an issue. I'll share my screen so you can see. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, like, here. I'm not sure this is how it's supposed to look. But basically, like, I can delete the ones that were created at the beginning. But any of the new ones I can't really delete.
Yeah. So can I see when you create? Can I see your create in the server?
Yeah, I assume it's because it has something to do with like IDs, right? Like I'm not creating any unique IDs.
Yeah.
So do you know how I can like go about doing that?
Yeah. So line 18, do a new line. A new line. Yeah. So do movie dot underscore ID.
The underscore ID.
Underscore ID is equal to open parentheses new date. New date, open close parentheses again. It's a constructor. And at the end, then do dot get time. No, at the end. No. Very at the end of the line. Nope, at the end of the line. Yep.
Okay.
Dot get time. Open close parentheses, and then append an empty string plus empty string. No, plus, and then yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool. So then this should make it work. I was also wondering, is it okay if like, is our folder not supposed to be part of like the folder that we use like for the API? Is it supposed to be part of like the homework folder that we're supposed to use? Or because I bet this is like a separate folder itself. Is that okay? Or
I'm not sure what you're asking. What do you mean?
Oh, so basically like I have the webdev server and this is where all my homework lies. But what I have here is like in an entirely different folder that I created. Is that okay? Like later on down the road, or?
I'm still not sure what you mean.
Oh, okay. So I guess like, so usually like all our code is written within like here, right? Where we have like the SRC and then like the assignments 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, okay.
And I looked at the assignment and it said.
So the server is supposed to be in one directory, and the React application should be in a different directory. They should be separate.
Yeah.
Two completely new different folders.
Got it.
And they're not supposed to be inside of each other at all.
Okay. So, but is it still going to be part of like the webdev folder in general, or
No,
this is like
we only really care about the not the top, not your top webdev, but the one below it.
Okay. So I guess
yeah.
So the fact that like this is like completely separate in like a completely different area, is that okay?
So this is your server?
Yeah, so this is the like
your server is supposed to be in a completely different directory. Yes, completely separate.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. All right.
Yep.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, Professor.
Hi.
So I'm let me share my screen real quick so I can show you. So basically right now, I don't think my practice look like other student. And I am not sure why that happened. Let me just run the server again. Sorry, let me just Start the server. But basically it doesn't look like our student, and like it doesn't have like the input field at the beginning, and I don't know where you mentioned that.
What do you mean?
Let me show you what I got. Yeah, so right now this is what mine look like.
Yeah, so that input field, it's supposed to be only one.
Yeah.
Right? So can you show me your list?
Yeah, so this is what I got.
Okay,
right
so
here.
see that? Okay, see UL. Okay, so wait, stop. Wait a minute. Okay, so that button creates, that's supposed to be in there in the list, right? So and the input field either, right? So move the line 57 through line 67. Yeah, cut that out of there. And paste it in there. Yeah, paste. Wait a minute. Okay, go down. Also the save. Also that save button, that's not supposed to be there. Yeah, cut it from there and put it like maybe below the create. Yeah. No, below the create. Yeah. Paste that there.
Right, but I think in your assignment right here, you say you should put the input in the list.
Yeah, I created a list item. Yes, I did. Yeah, so that's what you should have done, but yeah, you didn't do that. So basically, see that line item in line, yeah, you're scrolling too fast and I can't follow what you're doing. Slow down.
Right.
So scroll down. So on line 67, if you copy that, copy the whole line and paste it under UL under line 64. No, leave it there. No, don't cut it. Just copy it and then paste it. Paste that one. Remove the key attribute. Remove the key attribute. Okay, and then do at the end of line 65, do a new line. Right, and close it. Close the LI. Yeah. Now in there, paste all the buttons and the input fields and blah blah blah.
Oh.
That's what the assignment says. Everything, including the input fields, and paste it in there. And I mean, the assignment tells you exactly how to put it, but I forget. Okay, now if you go back and render it, you should be able to see it. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, I see. Sorry about that. I was like,
oh no, not at all.
I was confused a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. So I just have a quick question. When you delete stuff, you have like a weird thing called param, and I wasn't sure what it does. Yeah, like right here, like when you were deleting it, you were like ID.
Yeah, so see where it says app.delete a little below that last line, app.delete. See it says underscore ID. I mean colon ID, says API tweets colon ID. So that means
so is this for mapping?
Yeah, so that you can retrieve the value of that ID.
Oh, I see.
As a parameter. Yep.
That makes sense. Thank you so much. That makes
All right,
a lot
awesome.
of sense now.
All right, guys, I'm beat.
Thank you so much, Professor.
All right, good night.
Have a good rest of the night.
Bye-bye. Thank you.